We're here because we're here as Zoom, not live, because it's still an emergency. It will be, well, for the federal government, it's ending soon. For the state government, probably is ending soon. We don't know what will be here in the city. This may be the last time we'll be meeting each other on the squares, or it may not. We'll see what happens in May. We'll know. So I want to welcome everybody. I am Bert Lasman, co-chair of the committee. Our other co-chair is not here with us tonight. He is wandering Berlin. He went there for special opera, special ring performance. And then lucky him, he's going to Amsterdam tomorrow to see a great art show. Okay, Vermeer. Probably 2/3 of all the Vermeers in the world. And he was smart enough to get tickets ahead of time, because the tickets now are going on the black market for like up to $2,000 a ticket. Good for him. But anyway, we're here. And so I'd like to everybody else on the committee introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Wendy Gonzalez, committee member.
Candace Hewitt, committee member.
Tina Nelson, committee member.
Mike Noble, committee member.
Christine Bertie, committee member.
Theodore Arenas, committee member.
Inge Evchenko, public member.
Greenwald, committee member.
Hey, I think we got everybody. And just to remind everyone, we're being recorded. And we'll be on our Community Board 4 YouTube channel. So if you want to see what happened and go over it all over again, you're able to do it forever and ever, or at least as long as the YouTube channel exists. Okay? And those of you who are here for the first time, I want to welcome you, applicants, attorneys, and to remind you, we make recommendations to the full board. And then the full board in turn either accepts our recommendations, modifies them, and then makes their own and sends that on to the state liquor authority. We have no authority to say yes or no. We have the ability to make a recommendation to the state liquor authority, not only in terms of the overall application, but specifics about time. We call those stipulations. We have stipulations that we often add to our letters saying we would like the operation to close at this time on these dates, to have this situation in terms of music, live, not live, in terms of windows and doors. And hopefully when we make those stipulations, the state liquor authority accepts our stipulations and makes that part of the operator's liquor license. Okay, so we have an agenda. Okay, and the way we like to proceed, we've grouped our applications in 3 areas. One is change of operations. So tonight we have 2 different applicants in change of method of operation. Okay, so we'll start with item number 1 on the agenda. That's 152 West 26th Street, Sandbar Rooftop. Is the applicant here? A lawyer who wants to make a presentation?
Yes, how you doing? My name is Joe McClellan. I'm an attorney with Green Spoon Martyr. I have the principals of 152 W 26th Street Rest LLC, doing business as Sandbar, Gil Rubenstein and John O'Mahony. We would like to present and seek your support in our method of operation change. These are experienced operators. They've been operating in the space for quite some time. We'd like to request to allow a brunch service to extend the hours opening on Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. In addition, we'd like to request DJs for private events only up until 10 p.m. all days of the week. Mr. Mahoney has an extensive corporate background for events. And lastly, we're requesting for a live DJ on New Year's Eve only until midnight with the roof enclosure. The applicants have made themselves available to the community on multiple occasions, hosting open houses 3 weeks in a row on Monday, and have met with neighbors that and accommodated their schedule on about 10 in-person walkthroughs. And I'd like to turn it over to the principals just to introduce themselves and field any questions and seek your support in this application. John?
Hi, I'm John Mahoney. Nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time. Yeah, Gil and I met with, I think we did 9 different walkthroughs and sound studies with folks to let them hear it when they couldn't come in on the 3 Mondays. And we've had the next door neighbors in previously, the pre-existing board, and then the new board was voted in, and we had them in. And overall, we think the response has been great. And we tried to meet everyone that was available to meet, and we turned no one away, and hopefully, it has a good result.
Okay, I just want to say that the previous steps said no rooftop activity before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you want to have it now beginning at 11 late in the morning. And also the previous stipulation said no DJ. And now you're asking for a DJ at certain times and certain opportunities. Those are the primary older steps. And also we have a number of letters from people who were opposed, had some questions about a live DJ on the roof. The way it was explained to me by Nellie, a lot of these letters, because you were here before or was postponed, and they're from,
Correct.
because there was a question of how much time you gave the neighbors to know about your proposal and to explore it. And so you postponed and gave more people time to come up and visit and hang out and explain what you wanted to do. These letters, I understand, were prior to that. And we have about 6, 7 of them. Okay, so I would like to see if we have any questions, comments from members of the committee.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay, Christine, you have a question? And then I see Candace has a question after you.
Yeah, from the form standpoint, the DJ is not, marked up. So it would be good to fix the form. And I think we should write the hours for the DJ for which are outside of those hours in the document as well, right?
As
a stip.
Yeah, I'll be taking notes. I thought that, yes, okay, I see what you're saying. They have background music marked, but they don't have DJ marked on the form, okay? And what were you going to suggest as DJ hours, Christine?
Well, I don't know. Joe and John have suggested some hours, but there is some.
Yeah, we requested until
subtlety.
10 p.m. every night of the week.
Okay, so we should write it up in the.
Are we talking from? And these are private.
Correct. Only for private corporate events, not for the brunch stipulation. We know that the community 2 years ago, when we came up for the original liquor license, was very resistant to that. So we're not looking to do a DJ when we do brunch. We're just looking to open and have hours where we can serve brunch The DJ is only for corporate events ending no later than 10 p.m.
But it's starting at what time, John?
Generally, they start at 5:30, 6 p.m. So I'd
So
say
that's
the
what we
window would
should
be
say,
5
right?
to 10
5 to 10 or something like that?
would be the max window, right? Normally,
Okay.
it's only a couple of hours.
And we're saying it's only for corporate events, not for
Correct.
when the rooftop is open for brunch for the general public. Corporate events only. And we're saying 5 to 10.
Right.
Yep, private events. Yep.
That's a suggestion. Okay, anything else, Christine?
And
Nope.
we also, just to add, this is Gail, John's partner. To add, we did commit to the neighbors, and we wrote that in the package, that the DJ equipment, the 2 speakers, we committed to a specific equipment, which is 1,000-watt speaker each, in a very specific angle that we were told to place it, that will not have any sort of negative impact on anyone. So that's attached in there's a floor plan there with the location of the DJ and the speaker angles.
So it's 1,000
watt.
1,000 watt
too.
too.
Yeah.
Right. Speakers and special angle. Okay. Tina,
Hi there. I noticed a lot of the letters, people are concerned about the noise, and somebody references a sound system check or an engineer's report. I'm having trouble with my service, internet. Do we have a report here from some sound engineer? I mean, I don't know what's happened since March, but there's a lot of concern by the neighborhood. Is there anybody who's going to speak to that?
So I think that we addressed, first of all, there was a sound study that we did when we first applied, and we installed exactly the equipment that we had committed to. This equipment is in addition to that, or not in addition, but rather different equipment, because it's a DJ type of equipment with those 2 speakers placed in that specific location that I mentioned earlier. What we did over the past sort of the 9 times that we met the various community members, we walked the space, and we, not 9 times, but we did that on various times as an actual sound test. So we tested, we put the music at the volume that we felt is appropriate. All that information is attached to within our application. And our next door neighbors, for example, went outside the windows to hear if they could hear anything, because that was the initial sort of sound test that we did with the next door neighbors, and nobody could hear. They could not hear anything. And then there was another gentleman who actually is very knowledgeable about sound system that we have met in the first community board a few years ago, 3 years ago. And he did that from a different building that where he lives, which is across the street from Ainsworth. He actually went up to the roof and could not hear anything as well. That was in a different, that's in a different time. So I think that some of those letters, we met the actual people and sort of, I think they feel comfortable now. I hope that they feel comfortable now, but from the feedback that we did get from the various neighbors and community members was all positive. So I think that if we open it up for questions, maybe some of those people will hopefully will be there and speak in our behalf.
Right.
Tina, do you have anything else to say, react to that?
Sorry, Bert, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. Do you have anything to add, to respond to what was just said, or?
I mean, frankly, like I said, my only concern is when I see so many letters, I get concerned because I want to make the people in our community happy. He seems to be representing to all of us that they walked away very happy. I mean, I'd be curious if somebody speaks up, because there is a rooftop and obviously there's a concern.
My experience is not everybody is always happy.
That's true.
80 out of 100 could be happy, 20 will still not be happy. And don't forget, we're also, this is the context of, we're on 26th Street here. 26th Street has a notorious, now we're not talking rooftop, we're talking street level venue, the Answorth, which has been a neighborhood concern. And I put that in capital letters, neighborhood concern for many years, raising issues of noise, congestion. Yeah, so this is the part of the background of 26th Street. Everybody is a little on edge.
And again, just to address that too, and John and Gil have been operating the space in an extremely professional manner. And this is again, this DJ is for private events. The brunch is not DJ, it's to allow them to continue to generate revenue. So the operators like this are the type of operators that the community wants to keep in business.
Anybody else from the committee? Nellie, from the community, anybody with raised hands?
No, there's no one.
Now that says one thing or another, but it says something. I'm not concluding what it says, but it says something that if there's nobody here. Okay. If you guys go through this, we recommend the suggested 5 to 10 corporate events only, those special speakers. If there's any problem, we're going to get complaints. And if there's no problem, we don't get complaints, but somehow it'd be. Now, I assume this is the rooftop, it's open air. It's not going to be in the middle of the winter. So you'll have,
it can enclose. So
you have, that's right, you do have an enclosure, right?
Right. And we told everyone they could have our cell phone numbers, Gil and I, and we gave everyone who asked our numbers.
Okay.
So we're not looking to hide from anyone. The main thing it felt like, and when we first met with people, they came in thinking like there was a secret agenda. Like we're asking for one thing, but we really want this other thing. And then once they realized, no, what we're asking for in this meeting is exactly what we want. We're just trying to do corporate events where they feel they need a DJ to make it feel celebratory, but while it's a networking event. We're not looking to do dance parties. We're not looking to deal with promoters. We're trying to keep it very sophisticated and just be able to drive a revenue stream that we're currently turning away. But
Okay.
I think once people met us and they saw what we're doing, they're like, honestly, I don't want to speak for the neighbors, but they were like, this is all you're trying to do? Like, it was almost too easy. And it is. We want almost a prop of a DJ, so someone can see someone stand there with the music at the same levels it already is at based on our original sound study.
Yeah. John, you reminded me that in the prior steps, you had something about no promoters, because you just used the word promoters. Could we, we'll add that again this time around? No promoters.
Please. Yeah, we don't work with promoters. And it's corporate private events. There'll be a single entity, and we put it on all the notes with all the contracts with clients that we have final say on sound levels. So even though it'll be already set into the system, if we don't like something, it'll be turned off, or if the neighbors complain.
Okay. I don't hear from anybody else. Does anyone want a resolution? Go ahead.
I'm not making resolutions anymore.
Say that, Christine. You withdrawn
A
from making
joke
resolutions?
about last month. I'm not.
I'm
making
scared too. I'm not doing that.
no resolution.
Oh, are you referring to the fact that you all,
Right.
except for the two co-chairs and one else, but she's not here tonight, I don't. You all jumped to make a resolution, and then when it came to the full board, you reversed yourselves. Is that what you're saying?
Don't rub it in.
I'm not rubbing it in. I just was trying to refresh my memory. So no one's going to make a resolution. Well, we know that.
I'll make a resolution.
Okay, Wendy. Thank you.
I said,
And the resolution is?
Motion to approve with the stipulations as we've
Okay, the
discussed.
stipulations we talked about were corporate events only for the DJ, 5 to 10. The 2 1,000-watt speakers at a special angle as recommended, and no promoters. All those in favor?
Oops, quick. And the lastly for New Year's Eve as well was the only exception. Sorry.
I
Oh,
knew.
yeah, the DJ is for also New Year's Eve. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
those in favor? Opposed? Present not eligible? Abstaining? Okay.
I want to say that it's nice to see that the neighbors are happy, because I remember the last time you came, it was just excruciating. And it was very difficult. And thank you for being good neighbors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good neighbors, not only in the past, but good neighbors moving ahead into the future.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, see you first Wednesday of the month in May, when it goes to the full board. Item
Sounds
2
great.
on the agenda is also a change for operation. 325 West 38th Street, Coexist Gaming. Okay, they want to upgrade from liquor wine, they want to upgrade to a full liquor license. Okay, their hours of operation are 8 to 12 Monday to Wednesday, 8 to 2 Thursday through and Friday. Applicant?
Michael Kelly, representing
Kelly.
the applicant.
Okay,
The owner, Jay, is here. This is a upgrade on-premise liquor license application for Coexist Gaming. We're located at 325 West 38, between 8th and 9th Avenues, in a commercial building. We previously came before you in April of 2022 for a wine and beer license, which was approved. We've been open and operating with a temporary wine and beer license since September of 2022. We've had no problems. We were originally approved for 10 tables with 78 seats and a 4-seat bar. We downsized to 6 tables with 57 seats and a 6-seat bar. We had to relocate to other parts of the building, same floors. I did inform the community board of this. And I think we had no problem with that because it was the same floors, different side of the building. Hours are the same, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have video gaming, open mic, comedy, karaoke, DJ, live music on occasions, all down in the basement. I did check with 311. There were no noise complaints. We do have corporate events on Wednesday and Thursday. They go from 5 to 8 p.m. weekly, which helps us survive and helps with our charity work. In terms of other private events, we have about 12 to 20 per year. We do not have security. We were thinking about that in the beginning, but there was no need for it. There is security present sometimes, though. We have Congress people coming in, we have the mayor coming in, and various other dignitaries. And I think Jay will step in now to refresh your memory about what she does.
Hi, everybody. Christine, I'm happy to see you.
Hi.
I got a succulent plant, but it did not survive. I'm sharing my screen with you all. It's a pleasure to speak to you all again. When I spoke with you first last year, I was super excited because we hadn't opened yet. And now I'm excited that Coexist is a part of the community. And I've seen several of you actually at the space, which is awesome. So this is the space that I built from the ground up. And I'm going to share just a little bit with you for those of you that I didn't get to meet the last time. What Coexist Gaming means for us is gaming, social, and tech, and we made them all coexist. Our goal was to honestly build the first lifestyle brand and premier video gaming lounge that really provided an inclusive ecosystem for the cultural communities in gaming. And what that means, in short for us, is just the new generation of gamers who are comprised of the geeks, sort of the nerds. It's popular now. Streamers, champs, we've got the jocks, which of course are just different influencers and celebrities, recording artists like myself, cosplayers, developers, and then the innovators through tech. So for those of you that do not know me, I am Jay Watts, the founder and CEO. And I made my worlds coexist. I'm a Grammy-nominated recording artist. I moved to New York for music and songwriter. I'm also a former fighting game champion. So I've competed in video games from Vegas to Japan, and I am an electrical engineer before all of that started. So made it all come together, and I want you to watch this little video, which was the grand opening video.
It's the grand opening for Coexist Games. It's the commercial spot right here on 30th Street between 9th and 8th. And it's lit.
The energy in here is amazing. You're walking in a completely different world. It's like a gaming club in New York where people can come, content creators and music people, and just it's really dope.
There's a whole party going on. Oh man, if you're a gamer, you would definitely love this place. There's like all these classic games that you can play. They have over 2,000 games, like from a Neo Geo, Super Nintendo.
On the first floor, there's a bunch of arcade games. In the back, we have the Citadel where people are chilling in the lounge. Upstairs, we have tournaments, NBA 2K22. They have a bottom floor with like a lounge. They got ping pong downstairs. They have the big Uno cards.
People performing and stuff like that.
They have a studio. Like, I'm into music, so that was super dope for me.
Coexist is a place where creatives come together. It's games, it's music, it's art. It's a lot of creatives coming in one space, really enjoying the company of people who they would have never met outside of a space like this. People who will never coexist outside can step in these doors and meet a whole nother branch of friendship they probably would not have connected with outside. I'm the type of person that I see you walking on the street and in my head, I want to be your friend, but I'm like, we're in New York, we don't do that. And Coexist, you can do that. You meet people and they have the same energy and it just builds as a collective.
I think this is a good spot for anybody who's not even a gamer because you can chill, you can drink, you can vibe, network. Everyone has a space here at Coexist Gaming.
Even if you don't play games, there's still like a chance to connect with people. I've met 2 girls here. And I'm like, oh, how long have you guys known each other? They're like, we just met here. And now we're a group of people hanging out. I'm sure at some point we'll collab on music. This is the place for that kind of energy to consistently be that way. I've never felt anything like this before.
Love here. I feel like everyone's trying to meet people for genuine like connections.
We're gonna vibe and we're gonna talk and Coexist lets it all come together in one spot.
Oh, also you have people that will bust my ass in Smash Bros. So that's too.
And that was our grand opening. So the microcosm of what our world comprises is really tech and development, food and beverage, which is a big part of my life, film and music, and esports and tournaments. And you don't even have to take my word for it. Our 5 stars on Google speak for themselves. People are traveling different places. They've called us from a gaming museum with a lot of the nostalgia we have where you can relive your childhood to bringing their kids and really experiencing the new wave of the opportunities that the video game industry brings to the world. So we set out to do this very specific task, which was actually bridge the gap between esports and development. A lot of people know about the esports part of it, but they don't really focus on where that initiates, which is the build and development of the actual game. So our game house is this entire culture hub that brings gaming to life through tech. We have an incubator for innovation that augments development. We focus on creativity and wellness. And then of course, we are beginning our nationwide scale. And so we add value to each location that we scale to. And so, you know, in order to bridge the gap, right, between physical and digital worlds, we have our broadcast, our media, and our stream. We have our development incubator where we actually build games. So we hosted the largest game jam. It was hybrid, both in space and around the world with the Global Game Jam. We built over 100 games in 48 hours. And so you can actually go to coexistgames.com and you can play those games. And these are games created by the gaming community, people that are in New York that never really had an opportunity to have resources or access to build games. We're excited, as Michael said, with the mayor came to the game house. We hosted a town hall. And so we're in the process of actually launching our curriculums and programs. We've done stuff with Juilliard and Fordham and CUNY and Columbia. And our goal is to make the technical, creative, and logistical development coexist. And our ecosystem is comprised of classes, seminars, and workshops. So you've got sort of work during the day, social events in the evening for that work-life balance. That's what coexist means to us. And really, this is what we've done. We've been open for a few months. And I'm really excited and proud that we've done from We've hosted the NBA 2K draft there. We've launched Shaq's Gear VR, his blue blocking technology glasses. We have a Netflix documentary that features our entire community. We brought incredible people like Chuck Huber, who's an anime voiceover actor, PlayStation, Blacks in Gaming. The list goes on, from the NBA to Microsoft to the NFL. They are recognizing what we've done in our community. And so in short, our ecosystem has built hundreds of games in a few months. We've hosted the NBA 2K draft at Coexist. We're launching our education program with mayors and city councilmen and women across the US. We've launched Shaq's Eye Gear. Literally, our space is the only place you can buy the blue blocking glasses with a focus on eye health in our campaign for wellness. We provide education in a safe haven for schools and nonprofits in NYC. And we've been highlighted in our docuseries. And so that is how we coexist.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
One of your prior steps was no DJ after 12.
Yes, we have stayed true to that.
Will you want to continue with that? We would want you to continue with that. Okay.
Absolutely. Sure.
No DJ after 12. Okay. And also there was something about no alcohol prior to 11 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, we don't serve it.
Okay, so we'll stay with that as well.
Thank you.
Okay, and also no live music after 12.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Christine.
She has her hand up.
Well, I want to say they have been a wonderful, wonderful, neighbor and addition to the street and to the community. And so we wish them the best.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're almost an immediate neighbor, Christine, right?
I am.
I love that. We actually had several people from the apartment across the street and next door become members. So that was really great.
Okay, any additional questions from committee members? Candace.
Hi there. I actually haven't had the chance to, and I'm very excited to go see it now. I'm glad you guys are open and welcome. I did have a question on the application. You had talked about the security. You have it circled, it's a no. I just kind of feel like if we're giving a liquor license and there's dancing, it's almost like there's almost a club, there should be some kind of security in place. I don't know if we can change that, or
you know what, so
add hours to it.
Yeah, so in the entire time we've been open, thankfully, it's just not in our culture. We don't need security. We have kids that are welcome in our spaces. We have parents. It's not really a stigma that we really want to promote, because we're not a club, right? Like, we are not Lavo, very intentionally. We are a bunch of gamers and kind of the new generation of nerds. I think what parents love is that they have a safe space to bring their kids, and we don't need to have security. For one thing, there's an entire lobby that we built in the front desk. There's always a front desk person there. There's a turnstile there. So you literally cannot even get past. It's not like a restaurant or a lounge where people are just kind of welcome to go in. You can't actually pass unless either you're a member of the company or you're actually paying to enter.
So my question on you're allowing dancing. Where is the dancing happening?
Honestly, we don't have dancing. So the grand opening was like, it's a huge celebration. We're a company that I started in my Brooklyn apartment 3 years ago. And so everybody's super excited. That experience was one I wanted to share, but it's not a regular occurrence. We actually don't have a dance night at all.
Okay, yeah, I'm just looking at the application and it says that.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, there are things that in the beginning you lay out all the things, you want to do all the things, but the truth is I'm excited that we've been a lot more focused on our incubation. So if ever there's, activity like our music, it all happens downstairs in the cellar. It's on a small stage. It's not very big. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome
Yeah.
to the meeting.
Thank you, Candace.
Okay, Nellie, anybody from the community?
There's no one with a raised hand.
Okay. Would anybody like to enter a resolution? What?
Move to adopt.
And then there was a second?
Second.
Okay, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, present not eligible, and abstaining. Well, continue.
I hope I see you all soon. Come and see me.
Be well.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're going into our category of new wine beer licenses. This is new licenses, not a change. Okay, first applicant on this category is number 3 on the agenda, 781 9th Avenue, the Red Stash. Do we have the applicant here? Do we have attorneys?
Hi, Bert. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
We could hear you, Donald.
Great. Hi, thanks. I'm here with your committee member, Ted Arenas. This is Ted's application for a new beer and wine license new beer and wine license. I'm always very happy to be here and speak on behalf of Ted. I think he's become one of the best operators in your district and is also great at maintaining contact with the community and gaining community support and meeting with everybody anytime he does an application. So this space is on 9th Avenue, on actually West 52nd Street at 9th Avenue. It was Casa Lula since I think 2007. I think that I know that there was an application by someone who was going to take over the restaurant last year that came before you. I don't think they ever opened, but they were approved by you for a wine bar. Ted's intent with his partner, Sean Dunn, and Sean is general manager at The Spot, which is one of Ted's 2 current locations, is to continue the same operation as a wine bar as you've had there with Casa Lula since 2007. So it is, of course, beer and wine only. We've also supplied you with the menu showing the items that will be served. The hours are the same. It will be from noon to 12:30 at night, Monday through Wednesday, closing at 1 a.m. on Thursday, 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday, and again, 1 a.m. on Sunday. We would also like, as we've done in other matters, to have the 2 a.m. carry over to Sunday when Monday is a holiday and it's a day off. There will be background recorded music only, no DJs, no live music at any time. There are no open doors. There are no open windows. In the interior, there are 10 tables and 35 seats and 1 bar with 9 stools. Ted met with the 55th Street Block Association. You should have received a support letter today from Christine Gorman from that block association who was fully in support of this. He also met with the 4954 Street Block Association, and we haven't gotten anything from them as of yet. Ted, of course, has done significant outreach. We've submitted petition signatures and letters. There are 12 residents in our building. We've gotten support from 8 out of the 12, including 3 who live directly above the establishment. I think there are 68 petition signatures. Ted also obtained an acoustic report from Alan Firestein of Acoustalog, who you're very familiar with. Wanted to be sure that the music, even though background recorded only, would not cause any disturbance to neighbors. The report, which is also attached to our questionnaire, had recommendations for doing some work inside just to plug up some areas that could cause some leakage, and we are going to implement Alan Firestein's recommendations. With respect to the outdoor seating, which I'll tell you what the plan is, but as you know, that the DOT seating is currently not part of a liquor license application. There's a separate process to have that so that liquor can be served, but it's not going to be part of the licensed premises. There was a shed in the street on 52nd Street that was there, I think, for the past 3 years. It apparently was just taken away because DOT was under the impression that it was abandoned. It was right after Ted signed his lease. So unfortunately, the shed just disappeared, but it had been there and it had been used for a couple of 2 or 3 years. And the plan is to now, I suppose, if you can't get it back, to have to rebuild a shed of the same size and dimensions as the one that had been used by the prior operator. And that shed seating will, of course, there will be no music outside, and it will close by 10 p.m. during the week and 11 p.m. on weekends.
Okay. Thank you, Donald. So what I'm hearing is you intend to implement the recommendations of the acoustical report.
Yes.
And if you rebuild the shed, it's closing 11 p.m. weekends, 10 p.m. during the week.
Correct.
Okay. So we'll have those as stipulations. Christine.
So I don't believe I
Tina.
have. This must be a typo. You are going to have a storm enclosure, are you? This is the form list that you are going to have a storm enclosure, and I found that funny. I know you won't.
Ted,
I think that was filled out by mistake.
Right, I figured that. I have a question though. Your outdoor seating, I mean, I'm hearing that the new program is going to be restricted to be right in front of your establishment. It cannot go any further. And it would not be enclosed. So, I mean, it's your call if you want to spend a lot of money to do the other things, but I think it would be wise to stick to those guidelines.
Well, whatever the new guidelines are, we're going to be following. So, we don't know if it's going to be a year or two from now. So if I can get a summer out of it before they come, then, I'd like to be able to have it.
Okay.
Tina.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like everybody has applauded you, Ted. My only question is the one comment or the one email that was put in by Kathleen Treat. Did you address that one?
Okay. When I had the block association meeting, there were some people concerned about noise and homeless people living inside. Homeless people, it was totally gated up, so there hadn't been anybody living there prior. I actually also in the sound report had him check the outside seating to make sure that enclosure would not impact the neighborhood at all. I think with that particular complaint, Kathleen lives on 42nd Street and the what is it called? Manhattan Plaza. So I think it's just a general concern for outdoor seating, not specifically targeting mine.
Thanks.
Any other questions from committee people? Anybody from the community? Nellie, raised hands. I see some. Tiffany has a raised hand.
Yes, Tiffany. I'll bring her over.
Thank you.
Hi. Oh, my closet's open. That's embarrassing. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. So this isn't like a liquor license specific concern. I did send an email in, and I know that some other people have today on our behalf as well. I am one of the workers who worked at Casalula, which has been in the space for the last 15 years. I don't know how much you as a community board know about what's going on with the Casalula workers and this space, but I'm here and there are other people signed on as well in support and sending emails as well. So a little background, I mean, sorry, I'm a little nervous. I want to support everyone who wants to open a restaurant in this neighborhood. I live in the neighborhood. I actually am one of the signature. I live above Casalula myself, so I'm a community member. Casalula is supposed to still be open, and it is supposed to still be Casalula. It was bought by a business owner. Brian Kaiser sold it after 15 years. He sold it to someone who contractually agreed to keep the entire staff and who told him he would be keeping Casalula. That was really important to Brian because Casalula has been really important to the community, both the Hell's Kitchen community and the Broadway community for the past 15 years. We have had a really, really heartbreaking ordeal. The new ownership, despite contractually agreeing to hire all 18 of our team members, they started cutting pay. We had a really innovative tip system that allowed us to tip share with our line cooks and help them to make a much more equitable wage in the restaurant than most restaurants have. And the new ownership was ending that. We sent, as a group, really kind, thoughtful emails asking that he either talk with us about continuing that system or come up with a new equitable system with us so that our kitchen workers would continue to make a living wage. And in response to our group request, he fired all 18 members of the team. This isn't legal. There's an NLRB investigation going on and it's moving very swiftly. We've had support from the community. Assemblymember Linda Rosenthal has been working on our behalf to try to communicate with Rakesh Sundaramani, that owner, so that he can negotiate with us. And really tragically, after we held one protest where we were asking to get our jobs back and for our lost wages, Rakesh walked away from the Casalula space and abandoned it entirely. So the space currently he started a renovation that he abandoned, so it needs to be renovated, or the renovations need to be fulfilled. But the space currently has all of Casalula's equipment in it. It has Casalula's furniture in it. Like, he abandoned everything. And one of the things that he has said to Assemblymember Rosenthal was that when he sits down for negotiations, which he has not yet, but he said that he was going to offer the workers the restaurant and sell it to us for $1. And this happened a few weeks ago, or about a month ago. And we started to educate ourselves on how to run it as a co-op. One Fair Wage has been supporting us legally, and they were committed to being investors and helping us find other investors to do this. Again, I'm not trying to cause a problem for Ted or for someone trying to open a business, but it feels like a little bit like it's the unfortunate, like, innocent buyer of a stolen car. Casalula, like, none of us want to open this restaurant as a co-op because we think we'll like get wealthy off of it. We loved our restaurant and we loved our jobs. And this whole ordeal and this fight that we're having has been so heartbreaking and so exhausting. And the thing that keeps me going is both wanting so badly for our porter, our kitchen manager, our people who are desperate to have their job back, to have this incredible opportunity to run the restaurant, the same people who helped build the restaurant that's been so successful for 15 years. And also, I just think of the community, the people. I was lucky enough to be a Casalula staff member when it reopened after the 18 months of COVID. And hearing people's love and appreciation for it reopening, like, it holds so many people's histories and memories. I'm sure we all have restaurants that we feel that way about. The number of people that come in and say they had their first date there and got married, people that bring their children back. We had a benefit last night with One Fair Wage, and Broadway performers sang and talked about their love of Casalula and how they brought their parents after their Broadway debut. Like, it has so much history. And so to see another wine bar open in the space, saying they'll be offering cheese and wine, and it feels like it's building upon something that we were a part of creating for 15 years, and that truthfully, like, should have the opportunity to continue to exist. And so I don't know where that leaves us. I don't know exactly how to go about this. It's complicated, and I know this is separate than a liquor license issue, but this was the community meeting that was posted that was happening. And so we wanted to share our story with you.
Well, thank you, Tiffany, for all of that background. I knew nothing about this. And you are right in terms of what is before the board right now. It's not one of the items that we take into consideration by saying for this particular liquor license. The issues you're bringing up are much greater than what is before us. It certainly does, though, color what's going on in the back. And I hear about all your connections and all your feelings about the place.
It's
And
just beyond.
I don't know. I don't know where you. I don't know where you go from here. Okay, and I'm not. It's not my job to figure out where you go from there. You have to have somebody else involved. But thank you for giving us all that background, Jesse.
Yeah, no, I think I'm probably just about to echo those comments. I mean, I'm really appreciative that you've come here tonight and shared that with us. And I also was absolutely not aware. And it's kind of an incredible story, and I'm very impressed that you guys are forging ahead, and you have ideas for a really a restaurant where everyone's sharing profits and a co-op. I mean, I don't know if that exists on the west side. It's just unfortunately this is not. We can't vote on Ted's application for a liquor license based on on the story. And also there's just also too many unknown. We don't know if you're actually going forward with your plan. You've said that it's been committed to, but we can't. I mean, unfortunately, it sounds like something that needs to be worked out between you and the new owners, but there's really no role for us here.
Well, the new owners have abandoned, like they told us they were going to be offering us this in negotiation, and instead Ted is inheriting all of this furniture and things that they abandoned, so they no longer want any of it. So it's like everything is there in the space. It's all possible.
No, sorry. By new owners, I meant.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's fine. Just at some point.
My apologies.
No, it's fine. It's just it's something for you to work out privately, and maybe he'll be open to. I don't know, but it's just it would not be our role to step in and deny his liquor license on this with this background, unfortunately.
Okay.
Thank you again, Tiffany. Anybody else from the committee? And I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Okay. Okay, I just want to repeat that they are going to implement the recommendations of the acoustical report, and if they do rebuild an outdoor shed, it closes at 11 on the weekends and during the week. Those are the stipulations. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I assume we have one present not eligible? And anybody abstaining? Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay, you too, Donald. Moving on to item number 4, 789 9th Avenue, Sandbar, New York, LLC. It's hours of operation. This is one of those applicants. 7 days a week, same hours, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. Applicant? So you want to speak? Could you have a lawyer or?
Go on mute.
Eric, are you the lawyer? You're on mute.
Oh, there I am.
There you are.
Good evening. I'm Eric Barnes, attorney at law representing Thung Law, and with the owner Elle in attendance. As a matter of fact, she is working right now, so that is a 7-day a week all the time. But Thung Law is an intimate Thai restaurant, and they're seeking approval for a beer, wine, and cider license. As you know, they're located on 9th Avenue between 52nd and 53rd. Hours from 11:30 a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. I know they've reached out to all residential and community board members regarding the application and have been met with some very nice positive responses. But just to give you a little background, Elle is originally from Thailand. This is her first restaurant, and she has opened this now going almost 3 years in 2021. But I should also disclose it, just not only am I the attorney, but also a friend. My wife is Thai, and that's how we've come to meet each other. I will say that although I am not in New York at the moment, we do live in the East Village, so it takes a lot for us to come above 14th. And Thunglor is definitely what has brought us there. The food is quite amazing. It's for those of you who may be familiar with Thailand or Bangkok, Thunglor is a neighborhood, very eclectic neighborhood, very interesting neighborhood. I think it mirrors to some extent even the Hell's Kitchen area, but it's a neighborhood restaurant. They just want to make some very creative drinks to accompany the food, and I would like to introduce her if she's still with us, Elle.
Hi, everyone. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, nice to meet you all. So I'm so excited because this is my first time here. And I hope to see you guys out in my restaurant. Let's try my food. I will make the best to you guys. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions from committee members? And the community, Nellie?
There's no one from the community.
Uh, Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Present not eligible and abstaining. Okay. Good
I'm an
luck.
eye on that. I'm an eye on that one, Bert. I had
Thank
to
you,
stand
Mike.
up for a bit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank
Good.
you.
Okay, item number 5 on our agenda, 805 9th Avenue, the August Hospitality Management Group. Okay,
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Before I get started, I just want to make sure. Oh, I see him there, Bolin Yao. He's my client and the owner. I'm Phil Dorn, attorney with Pizetsky and Bookman. With me, like I just mentioned, is Bolin Yao, the owner of August Hospitality Group. Bolin will be opening a contemporary fine dining Chinese restaurant on 9th Avenue between 53rd and 54th, right near the previous applicant just now. He is applying for beer and wine only and will be open till just 11 o'clock each night. It's a small restaurant with just 38 seats, plus an additional 8 at the bar. Background recorded music only. There is a backyard space which will include just one table with 8 seats. Bolin is happy to close that space at 9 o'clock in order to not disturb any of the neighbors. The backyard space will also just be used kind of as a waiting area. It'll be for a glass of wine or a beer before your table is ready. So there should be no concern over noise from plates and silverware clanking around, etc. There's no food service outside. It's before your seating is available. You'll wait out there in the tiny little 8-seat backyard rather. Speaking of the neighbors, Bolin has done a lot of outreach for this project. He did a walkthrough with some of the committee members. He also met with Steve Belita of the HK 49 to 54 Block Alliance. Steve expressed via email his support for this application. I think he said so long as Bolin agreed to close the doors if there's any amplified sound, which Bolin not only agrees to, but planned on doing all along. I think Steve also asked Bolin to comply with city regulations for storm enclosures and signs outside, all of which Bolin will, of course, comply with. The last thing I'll say is that Bolin also contacted the building behind the premises that could stand to be impacted by the rear yard, but never received any responses back. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you.
okay. I and Ted did a site visit. One thing, Phil, that you didn't bring out, and the way I understand it, it's not like you walk in and have a meal and then somebody else comes in after you and then sits down. There are 2 seatings a night.
That's exactly right. A 6 p.m. and an 8. Those times might be off, but
Whatever the times are.
Yeah,
There's
whatever
only
the times
2
are. That's right.
seatings in the back, and it's literally not a very, it's a porch almost, where this table is, and the table is, where I understand it, I come for the 5 o'clock seating, but I arrive at 4:45. So if I want a drink before I can be seated, I can go out there. But once it's 5 o'clock and it's time for me to, the meal, I come back inside. So
That's
it's not,
exactly
people,
right.
it's not people congregating out there, coming in and out, getting a drink, coming in, da, 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 da. No.
You're doing my job for me, Bert. Thank you. That's exactly what.
That's why I did a site visit and asked questions while I was. Okay. I see Christine is up with a hand.
Yeah, I had a question for the, thank you for the explanation about the backyard. But you are going to have people bringing the drinks, right? While they wait?
Yes, that's right. It'll be,
Yeah.
it'll be.
So the only concern I have is while you are opening and closing the door in the back, and there is maybe some music inside, because there is a good, you know, the music seeps out very easily.
Sure. My two responses to that would be, one, it's really background music only in a fine dining establishment, so it's not going to be loud music at all. And you know, it's really it's a food forward fine dining experience. And then the other thing is that the door will be closed at all times, just to open the door to serve the wine and then close right back up.
So it was going to close automatically behind the people when they go out, and then it will be a system.
A server or a host will escort them out, and then the server will bring the drinks while they're waiting and make sure to open and close it.
No, just, I mean, if you have a door which closes by itself, you know, you go out, the server goes out, and then the door closes right behind you with an automatic closing.
I'm not sure of the technology of the door, whether or not it's automatically closing. You know, sometimes they swing closed, sometimes they stay open. But if the door, which isn't
if it could swing closed, that would be good. Let's put
okay.
it.
Bolin or Bert, who's been there, is the door that's going to be there for the restaurant already in place, or has it not been put in yet?
No, it's not yet in place.
Okay, so Bolin, perhaps you can take that into consideration, a door that closes as you walk out.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, do we want to make that a stipulation?
I think that would be a good thing.
Okay, so we want a stipulation that, do we describe it as an automatic door automatically closes?
Well, I don't know if I would want to put automatic, because that almost insinuates some sort of technology or electronic, like
What word would you suggest?
It's like a swinging door, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Ensure doors, when not in use, door is closed.
Oh, fine.
Great.
How's that sound?
That's fine.
That's the door to the patio. Okay, Ted, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this. They usually have automatic closures on every door that needs to be there for the fire department. So you're going to have one on anyways.
There we go.
The other question is like, okay, so how many people we have coming in? What if you have 25 people coming early for their recommendation or for the reservation, and you only have room for 8? Where are the rest is going to go?
They can hang out inside at the bar or outside. But as Bert mentioned, there are 2 seatings at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. So people aren't going to come at 4:30 or 5 o'clock for their 6 o'clock dinner. You know, they'll show up maybe 10 minutes early if you're an on-time person. But that's really it. It's just like any other reservation where you'd be there a couple minutes early.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And I have to mention that in addition to, you mentioned Phil, the Block Association, we got a letter from a resident who lives right next door, Andrew Goldstein, who has been before this committee a couple of times in the past. And he was okay with the backyard. His major concern was that, and he doesn't think this is going to happen with this method of operation. He doesn't, he's concerned that there's no replication of the noise, and we don't hear any noise coming from your proposal, the noise of some other establishments that are immediately adjacent.
Well, again, it's good to note that it closes at 9 p.m. So no one has to worry about losing sleep.
Okay. Anybody from the community? Nellie?
No, there's no one.
Okay. Do I hear a resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. You got a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mike, thank you. All those in opposed, present not eligible, and abstaining. Okay.
Thank you
Good
very much.
luck. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Thank you.
moving along. We're doing well tonight so far, in terms of time. Item number 6 on the agenda, 640 10th Avenue. Sushichi, I hope I pronounced that right. Sushichi Incorporated Restaurant. Okay, again, it's another 7 days a week, 5 to 11:30. Hi, the attorney.
No, I'm filling in for Mr. Park. My name is Ellen. I'm filling in because we have 4 meetings tonight, so we kind of split. Sushichi INC at 640 10th Avenue. It's 640 10th Avenue. They'll be operating. It's a Japanese omakase, and there's no tables and chairs. It's going to be actually one long bar, an L-shaped bar, 23 by 8 feet with 11 stools, and their operating hours will be 5 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Maximum capacity it's 74, but there's no way. It's maybe a third of the maximum capacity because he only has 11 seats, and this is an omakase, and it's going to be a face-to-face, intimate, get to know your chef and taste the best selective, the finest ingredients for that particular season. It's going to be very soft background music, no outdoor seating. It's a Japanese omakase. It's really not much to describe. Any questions? Because it's good food. Yes, it's very good food, but there's no set menu, so it's very hard to explain. It's an experience where you have to really try.
Okay. No questions from the committee and the community, Nellie?
There's no one.
Okay. Let's have a resolution.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Present not eligible? Abstaining? Did you vote, Mike?
I did indeed, yes.
Okay. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7, 354 West 44th Street.
Yes, Tatsuda Omakase again, INC represented by ABC license. Again, another omakase restaurant, but a different location, slightly different. And actually, this one has only 8 seats, less seats. The hours will be from lunchtime to dinner. Their hours, they plan to open from 11:30 to 11 p.m. from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Fridays and Saturdays only, he's asking for 12 midnight, just in case. Background music, maximum capacity per CO is 34. He has only 8 seats at the bar because omakase is not, it's a different type of dinner or experience. Any questions on the Tatsuda?
Guess not. And the community, Nellie?
There's no one.
Okay. Going quickly now.
Thank you.
All those, wait, do I hear a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? President not eligible, abstaining. Again, thank you. Good
Thank you
luck.
very much. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Okay, now we're moving on to our third grouping. Completely new liquor, full licenses, completely new full licenses. We're starting off with item number 8 on the agenda, 196 8th Avenue.
Good evening, Rosa Ruiz for the applicant. An entity still to be formed of, hi everybody. An entity still to be formed of Amir Mulik. Hours of operation 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Occupancy 74, 14 tables, 44 seats. There will be roadway dining only on, not on 8th Avenue, but only on the 20th Street side because it's a corner location. One stand-up bar with 7 seats. This is a transfer of an existing liquor license that has been there for over 18 years. The current owner is still staying on. And I believe they're still keeping the same trade name.
So Rosa, if it's the current owner, I'm not the lawyer here in this grouping. Why do they need a new liquor license?
Well, it's
Another
also a new,
grouping?
it's also a new owner. So Amir is a new owner.
Okay,
Okay, and then the current owner is still staying on.
okay, so another person is coming in, so this
Yeah.
new grouping is
Yes.
applying. for this.
Yes, yes.
A question I have, and the method of operation, the same as the previous?
Yes, so the method, yes, so the method of operation is staying the same. That's not changing at all. It will still be operated as a full service dining Italian restaurant.
Okay. That was my question. Anybody else have a question from the committee? And the community, Nellie?
There's no one.
Rosa, you're following in the footsteps. Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Present not eligible? And abstaining. Okay, Rosa.
All right, have a good evening, everybody.
2.
Bye.
Okay, item number 9 on the agenda, 128 West 23rd Street, HDR Holdings. This is also, again, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. And we have Phil again.
Yes, you have Phil again, and you should have Vivek Anand as well.
You see him?
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Great.
Hello.
All right. Well, like Bert just said, I am Phil again. With me is Vivek Anand, who is the head of operations for HDR Holdings, aka Wonder. Wonder is opening a restaurant on 23rd between 6th and 7th, where they will be offering a variety of different menu options all under one roof. If you want Chinese food, they'll have Chinese food. If you want Greek food, they may have Greek food as well. A few examples of some of the different menus, which will all be available at all times, were included in the packet that we submitted. It's almost like a sweet green in a way. Customers will order from a counter and then have the opportunity either to dine in or to take their food to go. However, unlike sweet green, it won't just be salads. It'll be several different cuisines all available. It's a relatively small restaurant with an occupancy of just 51. And like Bert said, it'll close at 10 p.m. each night with background recorded music only and no outdoor seating. So I will turn it back over to you if you have any questions.
Like Christine does.
So
And then
what's the nationality of the cook?
Of the cook?
Yes.
Oh, that's a question for Vivek. I don't know. There are several cooks, I believe.
Yeah, so great question. We actually offer cuisines from all different genres. So we have American, Mexican, Indian, Greek, ramen,
But
Italian.
you can't
and
have too many cooks, right?
Yeah, the actual nationality of the cook, she was asking. of the
they're
chef.
all different. They're all different nationalities. So we hire cooks from the local community. So they represent all different demographics.
Okay.
So does that mean that each of your ethnic cuisines, you have a particular chef from that
No,
community?
it's a team that's capable of cooking all sorts of different cuisines.
So they're multicultural,
Multi-talented.
multi-talented,
They're multilingual.
multilingual. Okay. Inga,
Hi, can you just tell me what's in this space previously? What's there? That wasn't a restaurant before, was it?
I'd have to look that up. I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't think it's previously licensed, but just don't want to double check.
we're talking between 6th and 7th.
Mm-hmm.
This- Let's see what Google Maps pulls up. There's
So
been,
besides,
I think it was new construction actually. And
is this the south side of the street?
I think it's the south side of the street.
There's a new building there, a new reconstructed
Yeah.
old.
A reconstructed old building, so it's not been previously licensed as a. for
that's right.
alcohol.
Yeah, it's a reconstructed old building.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
Candace?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it was like a Planet, like an Orange Fitness or something.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was that building or the one next to it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they actually survived through COVID. I'm surprised they're gone now. Okay. And there are residents above it, but it's not open late, so I don't think this will be an issue. All right, that was all I had.
Okay. Any other committee member? Nellie?
There's no one.
Okay, thank you. I hear a motion and a second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Present not eligible? And abstaining. Okay, thanks, guys.
All
Good
right,
luck.
thank you. What a lovely night at CB4.
We have still number 11 to go.
See you again. Goodbye.
Have a good
Take care.
evening.
Okay. 795 8th Avenue, P-Max, 9. Okay.
Good evening. Mike Palutis, can you hear me all right?
We can, Mike.
Great. Just give me a second. I thought we were going to number 10 first.
Didn't we just do 10?
No, we skipped 10.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry. Okay. I was
That's all right.
jumping.
Do you want to do 11 first? Do you want to do 10 first?
We'll do 10 first. We'll stay in order.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike.
No, it's okay. I'm here on both.
Oh, so let's do 10, 184 8th Avenue. 4
All right.
properties.
So, good evening, everybody. My name's Mike Palutis. I'm an attorney. I'm here on behalf of 4 Provinces LLC. I am joined this evening by Elaine Marlowe and Connor Duffin. Do we see Elaine and Connor?
I see Connor.
There's
but
Elaine. I
Elaine's
see Elaine
face?
and I see
Oh,
Connor.
that
All
might
right,
be
good.
Connor too.
Good. So this is an application for a bar tavern license to be cited at 184 8th Avenue. The establishment, although a bar tavern, will include a full kitchen and will offer a contemporary food menu, which we've provided as part of the questionnaire. Indoors, there will be 19 tables with 46 seats at those tables and 18 seats at 2 bar counters. Our client intends to operate a small sidewalk cafe with 5 tables and 10 seats. This is a previously licensed location. I believe it was a Bear Burger in its previous life. The store would open at noon and close at 4 a.m. daily. The owners presently operate Cask on 33rd Street on the east side. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with their other location. But they have met with a great deal of success there, both with the customers and with the neighborhood. Although submitted just a few minutes ago, frankly, because I only received it a few minutes ago, I did submit to Nellie a letter of support from the upstairs neighbors at the 33rd Street location. And that letter does attest to the good faith and responsible management of the store on 33rd Street. So I don't know whether it's been circulated, but if it has, it might be helpful. The applicant did submit a written description of what she wants to present here at 184 8th Avenue. That was in the packet, and hopefully you've had a chance to review it. I'm not going to belabor it. I will note that our client's done a significant amount of outreach, and I did submit several pages of signatures, including two supporting the application from residents upstairs in the building. We did reach out to the list, the CB4 Block Association list, and received no responses. And yeah, these are experienced operators who are looking forward to opening on the west side, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Do any of the members of the committee have questions? I see no raised hands. Ah, there's one.
I can't
Christine.
help it. So this is the place which is known as Q right now?
No, Q is number 11, Christine.
That's number 11.
That's up next.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
reading the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this is a very different operation, a much smaller store.
Right. So
and
795 at 8th Avenue. That's what we are doing right now?
No. We're working.
184.
Yep.
805? Oh,
184 8th Avenue, down 19th, 20th Street.
okay.
Questions about
And
that?
I just wanted to see the footprint of the sidewalk cafe. Is it attached?
It is. It's included in the diagram.
Okay, I'm sorry to be so slow. I went to the wrong place. Okay. And how much space is left from the sidewalk cafe to the curb?
So I mean, they'll have to have their 8-foot clearance. So whatever DOT requires them to have, they'll clear that. Again, this won't, as Don pointed out earlier tonight, this won't be part of the license yet.
Oh, so you are not including that in the license today?
Well, we've included it in the questionnaire, but at present, the State Liquor Authority is not actually including the sidewalk cafes as part of the license. We're giving notice of the cafes so that we're making the community boards aware. We did the DOT certification, and that allows them to operate. But on a technical level, the sidewalk cafe is not actually part of the licensed premises. It's unclear presently what the State Liquor Authority is going to require us to do, but it's conceivable that you'll be receiving 30-day notices for alteration applications for all of these sidewalk cafes when the permanent open restaurants program is put in place. So
could you send us a full layout of the sidewalk cafe before the full board so we can look at it?
Yes, Elaine, can we commit to doing that before the full board meeting?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
we can
would
do
have
that.
with all the measurement going to the curb and to any of the obstruction, right?
Sure.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you.
Jesse and then Inga.
Hi guys. So I just want to clarify what like the because if this is more of a bar or a restaurant or like a cocktail lounge or a restaurant, how you're envisioning it, because one of your petitions you actually circle both bar and restaurant, and obviously you're coming to us as a tavern/bar application. So if you just give me just a little bit more color on what is going to look like in terms of, am I going there for dinner or am I going for a cocktail after work, or is it both?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. We're definitely very food focused. We have a New York Times chef involved. The cocktails are a major part of it, but we kind of want a concept where we're bringing a small plate concept along with a cocktail pairings type of situation. So we'll be using lots of botanicals and herbs in the cocktails, and that will translate into the food as well. Lots of small New American plants. It's a little bit of both. So we're definitely going to offer food as late as possible, cocktails to be the main focus at nighttime, obviously. But yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Okay. Right, but meaning it wouldn't be. You expect that. I mean, this doesn't really. But you expect the majority of your patrons would sit down just for cocktails and may not have a small plate, or you think that most people will be having
In
food?
my experience, even when people come in for just drinks, people order food.
Yeah.
Most tables order food. We expect to run the kitchen at least till 1-2 a.m. every night, so people can have that experience. We really want to tie in the food with the cocktails. I don't see it being high volume, no food. I think that both of them are going to tie in very, very well together.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think I can picture this place now. I appreciate it. I live around the
Yeah, no
corner,
problem.
so I think you'd be a welcome addition.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we think it would be a great addition.
Inga.
I just want to, so before this was Bear Burger, I know there are residences above, French doors, windows that open. Bear Burger was open till 11. This wants to be open till 4 a.m. So
with the French doors, we would be closing the doors by 10 p.m. every night, regardless. So yeah, we definitely be well aware of the noise and the situation, and would contain it.
I mean, these are, old residential apartments. It's an old residential building. So I don't know do the tenants above know that it's going from 11 a.m. close to 4 a.m. close?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. They've all been notified. And two of them have actually signed letters of support. So they've submitted petitions supporting the application, but everyone in the building has been notified.
And I went by several times to get the rest of the signatures, but nobody was home.
I guess if no one from the public has any concern. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That brings us to you, Nellie. Is there anybody out there from the community?
There's no one with a raised hand.
I'm sorry, Jesse. I see you have your hand raised.
I came back because I missed the 4 a.m., which is pretty important. So I just also want to confirm that you don't anticipate, changes of atmosphere between 2 a.m. and it's quite a long, late night for a cocktail. I mean, we have them; they're here. It's New York. That's great.
Yeah.
But you're not anticipating a complete change of atmosphere from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Jesse, there'll be no DJ, no live music,
okay,
no security personnel. That's not what they operate on the east side, and that's not what they're going to operate here.
Yeah, I will say, even I think if this was on a side street, just so you know, I think you would be facing more resistance from this committee, and so I think I myself am a little more comfortable because it's on the avenue and we have a lot happening on the avenue anyway, and it can get kind of there's an atmosphere of people coming and going at all hours of the night, but so I think it's fine, but I just wanted to double check. Thanks.
Okay.
I see Christine and then Ted.
And so again, I mean, the issue at 4 a.m. or between 2 and 4 is really for the people living or smoking outside. What are you going to do about that?
So there'll always be a manager on premises at all times until close, who we won't allow that to congregate outside. That won't be something that's something that we will control with. We don't expect to have security ever, but we will have a manager who will make sure that the community and the streets are clear.
Okay.
I don't anticipate it to be like this crowds of people on the street or anything like that. We don't see that in this concept.
Want to suggest a stipulation, Christine?
Yeah, I don't know what to say, except that, you know, the management will be, will disperse people very fast in the evening between, you know, after 1 o'clock.
Absolutely.
We can stipulate to having a dedicated staff member
Yes.
responsible for monitoring the sidewalk in front of the premises,
Okay.
to ensure that crowds do not gather.
Right.
Again, there's not an expectation that there would be a crowd flowing out from this location, but to the extent that that's a concern, they're willing to stipulate that they will have a dedicated staff member, and it sounds like that's going to be a manager, which is ideal. So
Okay. Dedicated staff member to prevent congregating on sidewalk.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Ted?
Yeah, I was just gonna say about the security, because between 2 and 4, it doesn't necessarily have to be rowdy. There can be underage people coming in, like who's gonna be checking IDs. If there's inside, who's gonna be breaking up a fight inside if someone bumps into somebody on accident and they want to start to fight? Is the manager going to be there and start taking slugs, or how are you guys going to do that?
Well, I've been running task for 14 years and we've never had security, and it's pretty much most of the time female run, female managed, and it's never been an issue with our kind of concept. It doesn't attract that, you know, that type of situation typically. But we do have a manager that closes every night with two staff members. It's never been an issue in 14 years in this location, which will be a similar concept.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Nellie, oh, I asked you that already. Nobody from the community. Okay, so the two stipulations we have, I heard you say the French doors will be closed every night by 10 p.m.
Correct,
and
yes.
a dedicated staff member to prevent congregating on the sidewalk.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion incorporating those two steps?
Motion.
And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Present not eligible and abstaining. Thank you.
Aye, Bruce.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, you're now back again with
Yeah.
item number 11.
all right, hello everybody
795 8th Ave.
again. I should have Mike Kelleher and Niall Barrett here with me this evening. Do we see Mike and Niall?
I don't see him on my screen. Nellie, do you see them?
I'm moving Mike over. Who is the other person?
Actually, Niall's with Mike. Nellie, I believe they're in the same place, so it's just going to be Mike Kelleher. That's all
Okay,
you-
he needs to accept
right,
being promoted.
Hold on, I'm just texting him.
He accepted. He's moved over.
Thank you. Mike, you there?
Oh, you forgot Bert. We said also that they were going to give us the footprint of the sidewalk cafe, right?
Amendment friendly.
Right, which they agreed to. I mean, so then Nelly, that would be by what date? Do we need that?
I will need that by the 24th.
24th of April.
You got that, Michael?
I'm writing it down right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Detailed cafe drawing plan.
Right, thank you.
Yep.
April.
She
what
says
is it?
24th.
24th, I think she said. Okay,
Yep, I got it. I made a note. Thank you.
thank you.
So Mike Kelleher, are you there?
Yes, I am.
See you. All right, and we've got Niall Barrett.
Hello.
So good evening, everyone again. I'm here this evening on behalf of PMAX 9, and I'm joined, as I just said, by Mike Kelleher and Niall Barrett. Mike Kelleher is one of the owners of this entity and the director of operations of the PMAX Hospitality Group. Niall Barrett will be the general manager of this particular location. So this is also an application for a bar tavern to be sited at the space presently occupied by Q Bar, Christine. So this is that application. The establishment, although a bar tavern, will, unlike Q, it will include a full kitchen and a full service menu, including entree style meals. So it is a drastically different concept to what's happening there, or what has been happening there. The establishment will have 57 tables with 142 seats and 24 seats at 3 bar counters. I'll note this is a change from the questionnaire, which indicated there would be 4 bars. There will not be 4 customer bars. The bar in the rear on the second floor will actually be a service bar, so that will not be a licensed bar. All right. So there'll be 3 customer bars with a total of 24 seats. There's no outdoor space proposed. And as I said, this is presently licensed to Q Bar with a 4 a.m. license. I'll also just make one change to the questionnaire, another change to the questionnaire. Since we submitted it, it's become, we've determined that we believe there's been a license here since 1959. So although we indicated that we believed the application would be subject to the 500-foot rule, I don't think that's going to be the case. This operation will open for lunch at noon and close at 4 a.m. daily. The PMAX Hospitality Group is known to you. They've been operating Dutch Fred's here in your district since 2016. And they recently opened the Dickens just a few doors south of 795 8th Avenue, the location we're talking about tonight. And they've been operating there with some success. In anticipation of this meeting and at one of the neighbors' requests, we had Metropolis, our client's expediter, run a search of the DOH and DOB records for noise complaints, and are happy to report that that we found none in the past 5 years at any of the other locations that are operated by PMAX. So that was something that Bob Colelli had raised in one of his emails, and when he did, our clients engaged Metropolis to run that search. So that was the result of the search. They've also engaged Acoustalog to do a sound study and to make recommendations, which they are prepared to implement. Importantly, one of those recommendations is the removal of the base cabinets, which I believe are on the 3rd floor of what's now Q. And those will come out, as will all of the subwoofers that are located throughout the bar and rest of the bar now through Q Bar. I believe Frank met with our client and Acoustalog on March 27th. I think he did a site visit. I don't know, Bert, if you were there with him.
Frank.
But I know Frank was there, and I know that they walked through the site with him. The 3rd floor, which is presently licensed for dancing, will not be licensed for dancing. There will be no dancing on the 3rd floor or anywhere else in the bar. The 3rd floor is going to have tables and chairs, and it's going to be for seated dining. There is a bar up there. There will be drinks had at the bar, but it will not be operated as a club as it has been for the last many years. there will be seated dining taking place on the third floor, largely at corporate and private events. Although this operator wants to be able to open the third floor to the public when they're not having corporate events. So if it's a busy night and they've got enough flow to reach the upstairs and there are no private parties, they want to be able to use that and keep it open to the public. Again, I want to emphasize that this will be a drastically different operation to what Q-Bar has been doing in the space. So we did reach out to Jesse Bodine, and Nellie coordinated communications with some of the neighbors who I think have complained in the past about Q-Bar. They were all on an email chain. We offered to have any of them open their apartments up for testing, to have Acoustalog come in and take meter readings. None of them were interested in doing that. And most recently, Bob Kaleli sent an email to me, which I forwarded on to the board office, stating that he had visited some of the other establishments that our clients operating, and that there was room for hope, I think were his words. And he said he would find out when we opened. So I did forward that on to Jesse and to Bert and Frank. So you folks should have that email. But that's it. I mean, that's what I wanted to present. We're obviously here and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so what I hear, Mike, in terms of stipulations, that we're going to include no dancing, that the third floor will be for seated dining, and that we're going to implement the recommendations of Acoustalog.
Yes, I don't want to limit the third floor bar from operating, Bert. So there will be seated dining on the third floor. But I don't want the stip to read that it will be for only seated dining. I believe there is a bar on the third floor that will have some, let me just look at our floor plan, make sure I'm.
Okay.
I just want to say no dancing, that's all.
There'll be no dancing. There'll be no
dancing.
dancing.
That's the important piece.
Right.
We can stipulate to that without any hesitation.
Okay.
Okay.
How very footloose of us.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Sorry. Hold on yet. Sorry. Can I ask a question or?
That's what I said. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So as the applicants know, Q-Bar has operated pretty messily and was itself a kind of mess of a club, which is why there have been so many complaints. And I obviously we're stipulating to all these things, and you're telling us that it's going to be completely different than how it's currently operated, which if we take you at your word, could be the case. But the people, the patrons of Q-Bar may not realize there's new ownership. It's a very different place. It's a very different space. So what are you completely remaking how it looks? Are you how are you?
Yes.
What changes are you putting in?
They'll know it's
Jesse.
They're going to know it's a different place. Okay. There won't be any question.
Jesse, we'll be doing a complete cosmetic makeover.
Okay.
We'll be like Michael Paludas just said there. We'll be removing all the nightclub equipment from the third floor. We won't even be having DJs on the third floor. It'll be a completely different concept. If you are familiar with our. Pardon?
Yeah, I could just see everyone racing up to the third floor to, and then, and when they get up there, they're just going to see a bunch of tables and.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesse, we've already had some feedback from the community because we have 2 bars in the area. So some of the people who have gone to Q, who have commented on the fact that they are aware that we're going to be a different concept already, and I don't think they will be the same kind of clientele will be rushing up to the third floor. And if they do, they'll go up once and they will see that it's not what they were used to up there.
Right. Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Christine.
So I have the same question here, which is, between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, what will you do to disperse the customer from the front of the club? Because a lot of the noise complaint we get are really not from the inside, although in your case it was, but it's also from the outside when people are congregating outside and not leaving.
So this unlike the previous applicant, Christine, this is a big store, right? With a lot of people inside. They're going to have security and they're going to have adequate staff to make sure that that's not happening. And I would encourage any of you to visit some of the other places that the PMAX Hospitality is operating in, either the Dickens or Dutch Fred's, but also the locations in CB5. These are heavily managed stores. These are hands-on operators. They'll have a security team in place, and they're happy to stipulate to the fact that, Mike, we can stipulate that we'll have somebody dedicated for monitoring crowds outside and dispersing them.
Absolutely, Michael. And also, just like all our other locations, there will be an owner present at all times. Niall is going to be your operating partner. He's going to be on site all the time to oversee all of this. So yes, there will be security.
Yeah, that'd be great to stipulate to that, Bart, if you can include that in the stipulation.
And what would be the language that you?
Michael, you were
It's the same stip that you put in the previous application, I think, if that was.
Yeah, that
Christine,
there will
if
be
that's
staff dedicated to monitor the entrance and disperse.
Preventing congregating on the sidewalk.
Right.
Absolutely,
Of
Christine.
course, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I see Jesse, I think, well, Jesse and then Ted, Ted and Jesse.
Ted first.
Okay, Ted.
Hey guys,
Hi, Ted.
to be quite honest, I got some word of what's going on at Dickens, which makes me feel uncomfortable voting in favor of this application. I was told that on June 1st that you were going to have a dance floor and a DJ on the Dickens, which is not opened yet. You guys don't have yet a permanent license, and though I respect your other businesses does have longevity to get some sort of notification from the community board or community members, I'm not sure having a space that doesn't have the third floor or the rooftop open yet gives me safe and voting yes. And you're sitting here saying that you want to remove the tables but not for dancing on the third floor after 2 a.m. also doesn't give me any comfort. So can you explain why Dickens isn't built out yet? And the plans that I heard from some staff and some of your bartenders is that they're going to be opening up a dance floor on the third floor. So I just wanted to know how you can respond to that.
I'll take this one, Michael.
Yeah, Mike, you should, please.
Yeah, okay. Theodore, thank you for your comments. We have no plans of putting a DJ or dance floor on the third floor at the Dickens. We are currently in the middle of renovating the third floor, and we are preparing the rooftop. Hopefully we can get it open June 1st, I think is the date. Everything that we agreed to when we were before you guys for the Dickens, to get permission from you guys to open the rooftop, we have abided by, and we will abide by. Again, Teddy, I understand your reservations, with what's there right now, but we have been before you with Dutch Fred's, and we were before you with the Dickens, and we, the best of my knowledge, we have done everything we said we would do to get permission from you guys to get a license. And I don't know what information you're getting about the dance floor on the third floor at the Dickens, but it would be news to me if there is. We have no intention.
There?
Pardon?
Is there a DJ on the third floor?
No, currently no.
But you don't have a DJ on your plans for Dickens on the third floor with the original application.
Michael, can you? I don't remember. I don't think we do. Michael, can you check for us?
And also, you don't have a DJ listed on this application on where it's going to be.
We won't be having a DJ on the third floor for this application.
There is one on this application here, Ted.
What floor is it on?
We didn't specify.
It doesn't say.
We didn't specify by floor, Ted, but we're happy to stipulate that we will not have a DJ on the third floor. That we can stipulate to if you want to add
DJ,
that.
Our DJ will be on the first floor only.
Okay.
There you go.
And I will look into how to put these rumors from our bartenders at the Dickens. But I can assure you that we're not, and we don't have any intentions of putting a nightclub of any sort on the third floor.
Jesse, we'd like to. Sorry, Ted, Theodore, if we could get information on specifically whom that information came from, because what I can say is I work closely with the group. I know Mike Kelleher is the director of operations, and he's got his hands in everything. So if Mike is here saying that that's not in the plans, that is not in the plans. And I think Michael would probably like to know what staff members are making inaccurate representations about what the plans are. So if maybe you don't want to do it here on in this on the Zoom call, but if you would like to follow up with Michael offline, send him an email and be specific about who's stating this, I think that might be helpful for us.
Teddy, have you been to the third floor at the Dickens? Would you like to meet me there, and I can show you? Once you see it, you'll understand that there isn't a room for a
I'm
dance
just
floor.
basing off of what I've heard.
Okay, I get it.
That I'm in the LGBTQ community, and
Okay.
obviously I want to be very clear that, I work at Rise. I own Rise Bar.
Okay.
I had some of your employees come to me looking for jobs, and they basically told me that as well as as also customers. So I just don't know what to believe. I would feel more comfortable if you guys had already had your 4 a.m. and you had your rooftop and the whole place was built out. I'm just like trying to, I guess, figure out in my mind why you would want to open up identical space 1 block away from your other bar when you're not even completely opened yet.
It won't be an identical space. Ted, as like our Dickens is geared toward the LGBTQ community. This will be geared towards everybody. It's not going to, and I mean, again, if you would like to meet me there, I can meet you there tomorrow or the day after, whenever you're free, and show you the space. And I would just like to get you to have a visual of the third floor at the Dickens, and you'll understand when you see it that it's definitely not going to be DJ nightclub vibe up there.
Well, I get what you're saying, but last time you guys came before us, you said Dickens was going to be a bar for everybody.
Yep.
You didn't say it was going to be LGBTQ, and then a week before Pride, Dickens had a rainbow logo, and it was a gay bar. So I'm just not trusting you guys.
Ted, I want to correct. I want to make sure that we're clear that the questionnaire, and I'm looking at it, that we submitted with the Dickens, it does indicate live music and a DJ, right? That wasn't. So I don't know what their plans are for the third floor at the Dickens, but what I do know is that when we came before you, we did disclose that as part of our method of operation. I believe it's part of the stipulations that it's permitted. So to the extent that is taking place, I think it can. I don't know whether that's part of the plans or not, but I am looking. What's that?
No, it isn't the part of the plans, Mike.
But I don't know for the third floor, but I am looking at the stip and the questionnaire, and we definitely disclosed that we'd be offering live music, a DJ, and background music.
That wasn't what I was saying. I was saying, okay, you guys are marketing yourself as a bar for everybody, and then you basically said we're an LGBTQ bar now, and it just seems like you guys could have been honest about everything up front.
Okay. Thanks for expressing your concerns, your doubts, and how you see it, Ted. Christine, no, I don't see your hand up. Jesse and Inga.
Jesse was there.
Yeah. So I also just to be make the committee aware. I also have heard the same things about your third floor. I've just been now messaging with a friend to figure out where are these rumors coming from. It is from your staff. Your staff is under the impression that there will be third floor dancing, and we would have to go back to the stip to see what we agreed to before. But the fact that you're telling us now that there will not be dancing on the third floor, and again, I don't know if I need to care one way or the other, but it is a little disconcerting that your staff is under one impression, and you're coming in here and telling us something different. And I want to make sure that it is your staff who is incorrect, and you are being forthright with us. So if you could just speak to that one more time, and then we can move on. But I did feel need to share that with the committee here.
Yeah, we're being forthright with you guys. We have no intention of putting a DJ dance floor on the third floor at the Dickens, and we definitely don't have any intentions of putting DJ at all on the third floor at what is currently Q. Like Michael said, it will be majority seating. We will hopefully have corporate events up there where there will be like happy hour vibe, high top tables, people mingling, that kind of a vibe. But we definitely won't be having nightclub vibe on the third floor in either of the places.
Well, at best, what we have here is you have some communication issues internally with your staff. Okay, Inga.
I just want to ask, what are Q's current hours? What is it licensed? Is it 2 or 4?
4.
It is licensed to 4? Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Jesse, you still have your hand up, or is that neglect to turn it down, take it down? Okay. Anybody else from the committee? And from the community now, do we have anybody out there?
Yes, we do. We have Pete Diaz.
Pete?
Oh, Pete. Pete, you have to unmute.
Okay.
Here you go.
You are, we hear you, Pete. Welcome.
All right. If you're gonna hear me, you're gonna hear me for the last 15 to 20 years. I've been through this before, and I think the board knows me, the committee knows me as well. I can't say, I mean, I've been through this nice talk, nice presentations, private talks, and yes, no, we're going to be different. It's not going to be the same. Things have changed in the community. No, it's going to be really nice. And guess what? That has not happened. And I am really, really afraid. We cannot take this anymore. They seem to bring up the music after 11:15, 11:30, and thinking that no one knows. We must have filed at probably more than 100 complaints with 311.
Sorry, Pete, can you clarify if you're talking about the queue or the current?
I'm talking about 795. 795.
Well, who was in the, who was
like-
operating the property at
Yeah.
the time you put the complaints in?
Bob Fluid, and the predecessor was Social.
So we're talking about the queue, and we're talking about,
And prior to that was a Social. We had the same problem.
okay,
So I'm
you're talking from your
kind of,
history.
presentation. And I'm afraid, I'm sure they mean well, but we can't risk it anymore. Sleepless nights. I can't, I don't know if you can fathom what we've been through. The tenants at 301 West 48th, no sleep. And yet they made the same or similar presentation. I need a guarantee that, and I'm hoping that there's no music at all, because I just can't trust this anymore. If you hear the frustration in my voice, it's because that's all the years I've been going through this year. And it's not fair. It's not fair to the tenants. And if you look at the tenants on 49th Street, they get it from the other side.
So Pete, what is the building? What is the building with the tenants that are the most affected?
301 West 48th Street and the ones on 49th Street. That would probably be 301 as well. That building encompasses almost 3/4 of the block. So the people in the back of West 49th Street get the brunt of all this music. And I think one of the persons is Kale. And the owner now has been communicating with him. But again, I've heard this sweet talk before. I just, nothing should be played on that 3rd floor. Definitely not.
Okay, Pete, I have a question. Pete, I have a question to you.
Still get it.
They have committed no DJ on the 3rd floor, only a DJ on the 1st floor. Does that make a difference to you?
No, Bert, I think what he's saying is that, first of all, have you done a sound study of the 3rd floor? Mike and Mike?
Yes, I believe Acoustalog did a sound study of the entire space. And
What about the third floor?
including the third floor,
Specifically?
including, yeah, there are huge base cabinets.
Okay, and
that are
so go
And
ahead.
then the elimination of those.
they're going to come out. They're coming out.
But
If,
they are,
if we take the space, if this operator goes in, those base cabinets are coming out.
I'm trying to get to the detail of it, so bear with me 1 second. Those cabinets are on the third floor?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you have a list of recommendations and you're going to follow and implement the recommendations.
They will.
That's one of the stipulations we have.
Because one of my impression also is that there was the sound was, I went to visit there some time ago with Pete because he was really, really stressed. And there was some leakage through the walls and through, you know, the back of the building. So, you know, maybe walls or windows which were not sealed, etc. Are you aware of that?
Hi, Christine. Christine, I don't think there is any windows on the third floor. I've heard a couple of times that I've been up there. Like, I just want to get across that we are aware of the issues that you've had with Q. We have been hearing nothing but complaints from our customers coming into us, you know, residents telling us, and we have spoke to Frank recently, and he, you know, telling us the nightmare that you guys are having. But all we are asking you guys is to judge us on our, you know, our like the 5 years of no noise or violations in any of our locations. The history of PMAX, we have, you know, we have an excellent reputation. Like, I don't think we have any complaints from Dutch Freds or the Dickens.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, sometimes the complaints are also linked to the location itself. You know,
right.
If the building is not in a good shape. So what they are saying is that they are going to remove all the amplification that was installed in the third floor and replace it with I mean, I don't want to say background, but fairly background compared to that. And then the
right.
DJ would be on the first floor, and therefore the amplification, and they have an acoustic report that they are going to implement.
Correct.
Did you get that, Pete?
Yeah, I understand. Recall, we've had quite a few readings in our building, and in each case, it just turned it out. It didn't pan out at all. And I'm just thinking that it's going to echo through. It's going to find its way. I don't know. I don't know what type of music they intend to play and how loud they intend to play it, but we cannot take it. We just cannot.
So the sound report includes a sound limiter on the devices, right?
Yeah.
So they can.
Yeah, go ahead.
They only work if they're abided by. I understand, but this operator is and I hear the concerns, and I understand there's a long unpleasant history, particularly with Q-Bar, but perhaps even before that with social. I think Mike Kelleher, Pete, I think Mike Kelleher said it when he said that, you know, that what they can say is look at what we're doing in other places. We understand you don't know PMAX, you don't know Mike Kelleher. We get that. But what all they can really do to give assurances here is to show you what they've done in other locations.
So,
and
Michael, could we get a stipulation that once you are up and running, if we have complaints from Pete or apartment from Pete, you will rehire Mike Acoustilog and do tests and, you know, we correct the situation?
Yes.
Yes, we can stipulate to that.
Okay, let's stipulate to that.
We've been proactive in reaching out. We immediately.
No, I'm not.
We did. Pete's been copied on the emails to with Bob Colelli and Jesse Bodine and the council person, we have been active from the outset here.
I think what we want to do is say, once it's up and running and we have the real operation, if there is still a problem, let's commit that we will be testing with Acoustilog and implementing further measures, because at the end of the day, we don't know why, we don't know. It's just like leaks of water, right? You do everything you can and there is still a leak. So you need to do something about it.
Mike Kelleher has indicated they'll stipulate to that, Christine.
So Bert, you got that?
I'm writing that down language and I'll
Okay.
repeat it when we finish.
Pete,
Jesse and then Ted.
Great, thank you. So just to also take the other side of this, or to think this more fully, it's a huge cavernous space, and there really aren't that many uses for the space beyond something that has some music or some like a decent number of people in there. So I think if it's not this applicant who wanted to do this with the space, it's some other club coming in and trying to, I think no matter who is in this space, it's going, there will be people applying who want to make it dancier than the current applicant is telling us that how they're going to use it. The only thing I wanted to clarify, I guess, is, I think that stipulation hopefully solves the problem. Pete, maybe you'd be open to having them come in and test your apartment now as they build up the space and move speakers around. Maybe you'll let in the Acoustilog in, and you can run tests even before they get going. But also just to clarify, or maybe with stipulation we can add, I think when you say no DJ on the third floor, that means no dancing on the third floor is how I hear it. But that doesn't necessarily mean no amplified sound on the third floor, because the DJ from the first floor will be pumping the music up to the third floor. Can we get some sort of stipulation of the third floor sound being lower than the first or second floors? Because I think the third floor is where the problem emanates from.
I just want to mention something. I've heard the music gyrate. Sometimes it comes from the third floor, second floor, and then the ground floor. And sometimes I can't figure out why it's being in the back and then the front and then the top. It's like, I'm concerned about the bottom as well.
Sorry, Pete. Yeah, Pete, we walked space a couple of weeks ago for the first time, and we were amazed, I think is the wrong word, but we were kind of blown away by the size of the speakers, the bass speakers. We have no intention of using those. Those are being removed. If we get in, we're going to remove all of those, all the bass, all the woofers, everything. It's going to be a completely different vibe. There will be no dancing whatsoever. It will be a bar with food. It's going to be background music only on the third floor. We have no DJs on the third floor. We hope to have DJs on the first floor, but again, we will be abiding by Acoustilog Alan Ferenstein's recommendations on sound levels there. I know you guys have been burnt before with Q and maybe social, I'm not too sure, but I just want to assure you, Pete, and the rest of you guys who are concerned, that we will not be having any of the speakers that are there currently, and we will not be having any dancing whatsoever.
It's nice to hear that from you, because I think I met you when I went over to Dinkins.
You did, Pete. I remember.
I
remember meeting you.
And I expressed my concerns about the people that are going to be affected on 47th Street and west to your building right behind you. Correct. But I understand. you're going to make an attempt. Just be aware that the predecessors indicated that no one was going to touch the control. And based on one of the emails, it indicated that apparently they were touching the control. The customers had access to the control.
Oh, no.
Which makes no sense, because that's exactly what we mentioned. And I mentioned to them, please do not let the employees or the customers touch those controls. So it's like I was basically talking to myself. Yeah, so see it from my side. Now, when you're not there, when you're not there and you have your employees there, just like you indicated, somebody said something, one of your employees said something that you were not happy about. Well, they're going to do certain things and you're not going to be happy about when you're not there. And guess who's gonna get it? Who's gonna feel it? The tenants over at 301 West 48th Street, as well as 49th Street.
Pete, do
you follow what I'm saying?
Yes,
You're not
yes.
gonna be there 24 hours a day,
Pete,
but your employees are, and if they're not happy, this is how they get at you.
Pete, we will have an owner on premises all the time. Niall here is going to be one of the owner partners. He's going to be there 5 nights a week, and we will have either myself or one of the other partners on site. The staff, like the general staff, will have no access to the sound, as in turning it up to the volumes that you guys are experiencing right now.
Right, they're gonna make you look bad. If that's how they play the game. They don't
Pete,
do what they
I
want,
get it.
and they're gonna make you, the owners, look bad, and then we get it indirectly, and then we got to give it back to you. You see how that works?
Yeah, Pete.
Yeah. So I'm with you, but understand, please.
I get it, Pete. And listen, again, from what I hear and the reports that I'm hearing from what you guys went through with Q, I completely get all of this. But Pete, I can assure you that, what we're telling you right now is our word. I know you've heard it before from previous occupants, but again, just judge us on our other locations if you want to. I mean, we've 5 years of no noise or no sound violations in any of our locations. I would like you to take that on board when you're making your decision. And we pride ourselves on getting on with you guys. We have 2 bars in your neighborhood already, and we would love to have one more.
Okay, maybe Ted.
I mean, I got to tell you something. I just went through an acoustalog sound report with Al Firestein as well, and I'm looking over your report, and it says that he did a sound test only based on background music at 86 decibels. That's not really coinciding with the sounds of a DJ. And then you said the 3rd floor space, even a level at 96 in the center of the room, but it doesn't really look like he did a test other than background music, other than what was there at social. And you have a tenant here that's saying he's having sound leakage on floor 1, 2, and 3. And there's no recommendations to do any soundproofing in this report other than putting a limiter on it. So I'm just.
I haven't read the report, but they have been talking about they're implementing the recommendations, and the recommendations include getting rid of all that amplification on the 3rd floor and wherever it was.
Teddy, also, like when we were there with Alan Feinstein from Acoustalog, Frank Zubiak was there also, and we did stick to the 86 decibels or 96. I can't remember exactly. I'm not a professional in this field, and we played it as loud as we will be playing our DJ music for Frank. And I just don't know why that's not in the report, to be honest.
And we are including the stipulation, and this is the language I've come up with, and I'm ready to modify it. Once the venue is functioning, if there remain noise problems, a new acoustical study will be done, and its recommendations will be further implemented.
I just want to, if I could real quick, if you look at the photographs, sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words. If you look at the photographs at the tail end of the Acoustalog report, I haven't been in the space. I mean, the bass cabinets that are shown there are as large as me. They are human-sized speakers, like towering from the corners of the room. That's not what's going to be going on here, and I just want to make that clear. Those are all coming out. That stage, those 4-foot tall bass cabinets, they're not going to be operated that way. They won't be. So I really think that is a big part of the problem. And if you look at the pictures, it seems apparent. But
Inga?
Yeah, I think we need to kind of move on from the speakers. They are huge. They're going to go away. I think Pete and Mike Keller, and I forget the other gentleman's name, forgive me, should exchange offline phone numbers so that Pete has a direct line to the people who are in charge during and after the build out. That always helps. You guys don't like being called on your cell phone at 3 in the morning. And with your locations being close to each other, I think that helps you going back and forth to be on site more often, which makes sense. So I'm ready to make a motion to approve, but we have to hear if there's anyone from the public.
Well, we have Pete. Was there anybody else, Nellie?
There's no one else.
I just want to mention something. I think there's a problem. I had a problem.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I had a problem getting on. So I'm not certain if other people are having the same problem. And this is throughout the meeting. So if no one's raising their hand or calling in, I think there's a problem. I just got in within the last 15 minutes, just 10 minutes before you started this venue. I'm just letting you know that's the problem now.
What was the error that you were getting? Because
I couldn't register when I tried signing in. The box where you place your name and information kept turning red, and tried submitting it. It wouldn't go. I tried everything, and I began to think maybe there's something wrong, and that's why you're not getting any people speaking out from the public.
You thought we were doing it on purpose, right, Pete?
You didn't want to hear anybody.
I mean, they can come to the full board if there was a problem. That's unfortunate, but.
Yeah, the full board, Pete, Pete, the full board, everybody can come again.
Yeah.
I want to second Inge.
I would just want to have Ted, do you have your hand up?
I just wanted to say, like, once tenants get in and they have 4 a.m., there's not really any protection for the neighbor that's complaining. I would suggest 2 a.m. and then let them come back in a year to know that they don't have the complaints, rather than giving 4 a.m. to the tenant and then hopes they come back and modify the soundproofing. Because once they get 4 a.m., they're already to the neighbors, they have no control over it.
Right. It's very hard at 3 o'clock. Trying to get some kids and calling 311.
Can you modify the resolution, Inga?
I mean, I think we should stick with 4. I think we should give them a chance. I think their whole operation is going to be completely different, and
So it wasn't social though, and they didn't have the giant speakers, and they also had the complaints.
That's right. And they closed at 2.
Okay.
It did.
Guys, Theodore, can I just address that?
Social closed at 2?
Yeah, previously, yeah. And they weren't open all weekdays, just weekends. Basically, that's when the music popped up. Now, when Q came around, it was practically 5 days a week.
I mean, I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I like the idea of
We have to ask the applicants if they'll accept 2 a.m.
Ted, right?
Tina, jump in.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, I mean, Pete's concern definitely concerns me. So I would feel more comfortable with 2 a.m. And I'd also feel more comfortable if Michael, who's on the line, who's different from Michael McNamee on the application, would also add his cell phone number to the application like the other Michael did. So
Sure.
I vote for 2 a.m. and adding your number. Thank you.
Mike Kelleher will absolutely give his cell phone, and we can add it to the application. We can give it directly to Pete. He can be contacted at any time. I don't know whether the hours are going to present a problem, and that's something that I guess Mike Keller will have to speak to, whether there's any flexibility, perhaps maybe early, at least in the week, or whether the 4 a.m. Closing is a necessity.
Guys, I just want to again go back to the point that I understand that you guys are worried about the noise from 2 and 4, but again, we will have ownership on site from 2 to 4 to address any concerns that you guys may have. We would love to have it till 4 a.m. And Theodore, I put it to you this way. You were saying that once we get to 4 a.m. that there's no going back. If we get to 4 a.m. and after the first year there is no noise complaints or violations, would you agree to the 4 a.m.?
Well, I think what Ted was suggesting, and not to put words in your mouth, Ted, but let me do a summary. Tell me if my summarizing is wrong. We were suggesting 2 a.m. now, and then come back, and we would consider the 4 a.m. after a certain amount of time and seeing what complaints or no complaints. Was that a summary, Ted?
Yes.
What? Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, we would agree to that.
Could we consider doing that on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and allowing them to operate late on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights?
No.
I would accept that as a friendly amendment.
I also would accept that, and for the reason that notwithstanding this, notwithstanding the apparent misunderstanding between ownership and staff at Dickens, it doesn't sound like we as a committee are aware of actual complaints against these owners, and they are a known entity they are not new to this committee, they're not new to this board. And for that reason, they, unless we are aware of actual complaints, but I haven't, I was trafficking rumors as well, but which was important to raise and talk about. But if that for this one issue, I think that's where we give them a little bit more deference because they are not brand new and they actually do have some track record.
So I will amend
with the stipulation, with the stipulation that we'll bring Acoustalog back in after we're open, and we'll still give the bring back follow-up report and implement recommendations should he have any. And we're happy to include Pete and Bob and anyone else who would like during the process while the build out is taking place to be involved in testing in their units. We will do that. We'll pay for it. We'll have Acoustalog go into their apartments while we're building the space out so that it can be crafted in a way that it doesn't need to be taken apart again after they're open. I mean, to the extent that the residents want to be involved in the process over the course of the next 10 months, they can be involved, and we will have them we'll have their needs met, and we'll pay to have Acoustalog come in and take readings. We can do that after the sound system's put in, but before the walls are put up, if that makes Pete more comfortable. We are willing to do that.
Okay. Just a question: when do you expect to be open? I just heard you saying over the next 10 months of the rebuild.
Well, it's going to take, Mike said, a full renovation, a full cosmetic renovation, Mike, which is going to, what are we talking about?
4 to 6 months, I think, Mike.
Okay.
Would be a good,
6 months if DOB cooperates. I don't know if there's
So
permits.
Inge,
I had a motion. I am going to amend the motion, a friendly amendment. 4 a.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 a.m. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they can come back whenever they want in a year if they have no complaints, whenever they like, and try to get a 4 a.m. full week. So that's my motion.
I second that.
We've lost Bert. All those in favor?
Yeah, exactly, Bert.
Wait, before you run.
We lost you.
I don't know how that happened. I just wanted to summarize the stipulations we have.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to implement the recommendations of the current Acoustalog report. We agree to no dancing on the 3rd floor, no DJ on the 3rd floor, only on the 1st floor, dedicated staff to prevent congregating on the sidewalk. Once the venue is functioning, if there remain noise problems, a new Acoustalog study will be done, and its recommendations will be further implemented. Okay, and we're talking in the way your resolution is. 4 a.m. on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 a.m. weekdays, and after a certain amount of functioning time, operational time, can come back and we can evaluate 4 a.m. 7 days a week.
Yes, and they'll give Pete both their cell phone numbers.
Correct.
And he can be there every day during the
So
renovation.
we have a motion. Are we
Yeah.
voting?
There is a motion there on the floor, and we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Mike, Noble,
Yep, aye.
Okay. Those against? Those opposed? We did oppose. Those against? That's against. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Present not eligible.
Present not eligible. Okay, I think it passed.
All right.
Thank you all very much.
Guys,
Thank
I
you so
hope
much.
And remember, you got to come to the full board.
We will
Don't
be
make
there.
me regret my
Teddy?
motion.
Teddy, can I invite you into the Dickens and anybody else who wants to come so I can show you our third floor and rooftop and just put your
Yes,
mind at ease
I
that
wanna
it's not
come.
going.
Yeah, Jassy will come
I
with
want to
me.
come. Yes, I'll go. All
Okay,
right.
you have my numbers on the application there. I'd love you guys to keep in touch and I'd love to show you guys around.
All right.
and Mike, are you calling me Pete Diaz to coordinate the test?
Yes, Pete.
Right.
Pete, do you have my number on the application?
Yes.
Right.
If not, just email me the information just to remind me.
Mike, we've got Pete's email, which
Okay.
we've both been on. We've both been on some threads, so I will forward you directly and alone Pete Diaz's email, so you guys can, and I'll copy both of you and I'll make the introduction
Okay.
so that you guys can be in touch directly. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
you.
Thank you all. Have a lovely evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to adjourn. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.